A late good morning to you all. My name is Rush Darwish. I'm a community activist, a small business owner in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood. But above all, I'm a parent. And like many mothers and fathers, I am worried about the world our children live in. And to be honest with you, I am downright scared. As parents, we have a choice. We can teach our kids to love their own race. We can teach them to only like the people that look like them. Or we can teach them, no matter who they are or where they come from, that God created us all equal. And if we really believe that God created us equal, we are all asking for our justice system to do the same. Today you'll hear from business leaders, activists, and elected officials who personally and professionally have been deeply affected by the unjust and cruel murder of our brother, George Floyd. And let me repeat, our brother. And of course, the countless brothers who lost their lives not because of a crime they committed, by simply the color of their skin. So today we come together to show through this very painful struggle that our greatest strength is when we are united as one. We have some great people speaking today. Without further ado, please welcome Howard Brookins, Chicago's 21st Alderman.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Rush. I appreciate that. First, I want to start out by offering my condolences to the Floyd family. The protest over what has happened to him was a righteous cause, and we all stand in solidarity with this family and the protesters for that righteous cause. I'm also here to say that I stand today in solidarity with our Arab, our Muslim, our immigrant, and our African American business people who have put their hard work, life savings in order to build our community when others have decided to abandon our community. I want you to know that I will do everything in my power and our allies to make sure that you continue to thrive in our community. Right here in this parking lot at Thanksgiving time, these merchants passed out thousands of turkeys, given to people who were in real need. Throughout the years, they have given to Little League baseball teams. They've given to Girl Scouts. They've given to other organizations who were in need of help. Brands have given at Christmas time tens of thousands of dollars to those underprivileged kids who were in need of a Christmas. Kim Bark Liquors and Jonathan Swain has given out thousands of dollars to people in need of the community. Reggio's Pizza right here in the community have given out pizzas and thousands of dollars to help continue to build our community. We are all in this together, and we're inseparable and cast by the same lot. And together we stand and are committed to rebuilding this community in which we love. While we support the protest, we condemn the looting and the violence. Right here in this mall, one of the merchants who was trying to protect his life savings was assaulted by one of those looters. There's no cause for that. There's no cause for the violence. There's no cause to hurt and denigrate the people who are standing there with you each and every day in our community. But together we will get over this. Together we will come out of this stronger. Together we will rebuild our city, block by block. And the merchants who have always been there will continue to be there, even when there are some who are these multinational companies who have long bypassed our community, decide to take a pass. So I want to say thank you all for coming from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate each and every one of you all who stand here with us and stand with our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brookins, and I do want to take a moment and thank all our elected officials who made it out today. Let's move forward, and let's welcome Cook County Commissioner of the 4th District, Mr. Stanley Moore.
Thank you. I'm Cook County Commissioner Stanley Moore of the 4th District. Proud to be here today. We must continue to work together. And I want to first thank the many people who have invested into our community. I want to thank our Arab American friends. I want to thank our Christian friends. I want to thank our Muslim friends. I want to thank everyone who is investing in the 21st rule. This is a beautiful place to live, work, and shop. And we will be a beautiful place to live, work, and shop again. We will not let this deter us from what our mission was. We wanted to grow this community, to make this the best community in all of Chicago. And so as we begin to rebuild and work with our community, we are calling upon the Governor, Pritzker, we are calling upon President Preckwinkle, we are calling upon Mayor Lightfoot to immediately invest economic development and health and social resources into our communities. We cannot forget that we are in the middle of a pandemic of COVID-19. The racism and the killing of a black man was deplorable. But we are not going to let people who took advantage of that situation destroy our community and make this a place where people don't want to live. People are not leaving the 21st Ward. We are going to rebuild the CVS, the pharmacies. Right now in my district, which goes all the way from Ashland to the lake, does not have a pharmacy that is open. People can't fill their prescription drugs. People have less choices of where to shop. Just the other day, people are telling me that they had to drive all the way to Evergreen or to Oak Lawn or to Orland just to get groceries. We will rebuild again. And I want to thank everyone who's standing behind us, who has invested much of their dollars into this community, for staying with us and sticking with us, as we will grow this community again. Thank you. Cook County.
Thank you very much, Mr. Commissioner. And let's move on with our state representative of the 27th District, Mr. Justin Slaughter.
Good morning, everyone. Justin Slaughter, State Rep of the 27th District. Also standing before you, I'm the House Chair for the Judiciary Criminal Committee. I also want to point out that Commissioner Moore is the Chair of the Law Enforcement Committee with the Cook County Board. And also what we know is that Alderman Brookins has been a champion for criminal justice reform for many, many years as an alderman, but also before he became an alderman, standing up for this community. We stand here today in solidarity, in unity, wanting to shed light on certain things. The pain, the frustration, it's all too familiar for the black community. We want to call on ourselves, as well as the mayor, Cook County Board President, and the governor, to start to unpack and start to look at some of the things, as we know, as structural and institutional racism. You hear us talk a lot about transparency and police accountability. We're going to continue to work together to address those things. And it's just not about police accountability. Many of us know that's just a part of what's happening with criminal justice reform. Just last week, going down to Springfield, voting on a $1 billion budget for the Department of Corrections. And we continue to talk about it. 40,000 people in our prisons, 24,000 on parole, 6,500 individuals with 30-plus sentences, 4,500 individuals with 50-plus year sentences. Over 4 million people in this state have arrest records. This is the pain. This is the frustration that we're seeing when it comes to the reaction to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and others that have either been brutally injured or killed at the hands of law enforcement. So that's very, very, very important. we also don't want to lose focus of what's going on. It's actually, what are we, just in phase 3, and Commissioner Moore just touched on it. This COVID virus is very important. It's a public health pandemic, but we also need to start to talk about investment, reinvestment, and relief. And today with the Arab Business Council or Association, they stand as a testament and as an example of what it means to come into underserved communities, give their all, provide opportunities for the community. And so we're proud to stand with them today. But it touches on something else, the lack of community and economic development. When you and Alderman Brookins has been preaching this. Commissioner Moore has been preaching this. When you have more business owners, when you have more property and landowners, that in effect will drive down the cost for the loot. You're more prone to not want to damage your community. You're prone to not want to loot. And so that connection is missing for our people. That connection is missing for our people. That's why you continually hear myself, County Commissioner Stanley Moore, Alderman Brookins, talk about trying to increase business ownership, trying to increase property ownership. We need to get back to investing in our community, investing in underserved communities, because it all makes a difference and everything is interrelated. What we're starting to hear is everything is interrelated. There's economic development, there's police accountability, and these things, now there's public health issues. We know that this community is disproportionately impacted by chronic health illnesses. We're fighting for this all. And so, yeah, this is a press conference, but it's actually a rallying cry. Come along and fight with us. Pay attention to what our elected officials are doing. Commissioner Moore has been fighting, and I know, I used to work on his staff. Commissioner Moore has been fighting for this prior to this incident with the pandemic, with the loot. Alderman Brookins, for years, has been working on these issues in the city council. So this is a rallying cry. Come along with us. It's time to unite, and let's push forward. We will rise again. I'm State Representative Justice Sloan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And again, thank you to our elected officials. I do want to remind all of our speakers, we thank you for being here. We are kindly asking people who are speaking to limit it to 2 minutes and under. And you know, when it comes to our elected officials, that's quite a challenge. Let's move on, and let's bring in the people who are the reason why we're here today. And these are the small business owners who have worked their entire life. You know, what started out as a dream to build a small business and call themselves a business owner and their own boss were severely affected by what happened in the wake of George Floyd's murder. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome Shella Holcomb, who is the owner of Love Handles.
Hello everyone, I'm Shella Holcomb, owner of Love Handles, located at 308 East 47th Street in the Brownsville area. And I would just like to say, first I want to extend my condolences to the family of George Floyd and all the thousands of other people, even in Chicago, that lost their lives to the violence. I do understand why my people are angry. Let me first say that. It comes from lack of, it just comes from just built up, I can understand that. And again, I say that this is not the answer. The violence, the burning, it's just unfortunate. I'm emotional, so forgive me. It's just heartbreaking. It's more than just losing.
It's okay. It's okay. We got you.
It's more than just losing money. People think money. We spend time. My business haven't been open a year and a half. I didn't take out grants. I didn't take out loans. My business was funded by my household. Another thing, a lot of people don't understand, a lot of us who I do the business, we don't understand everything in business. I didn't come from a family that knew everything about business, so a lot of things I didn't know until late in my life, such as insurance and how to handle your business, you know? So it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's depressing, not just for my store, but it's depressing as I drive around Chicago and see how this look like Indiana and Detroit. It's just messed up, and it's just unfortunate. It's also unfortunate, all the black businesses and all the Arab businesses. I know some Arabs that's been better to me than a lot of people, like Steve and I know for a fact for years, Steve been doing all kinds of stuff, from turkey drives to giving people phones up front. It's hundreds of people, regular people, rappers that can all co-sign. Even myself, it was times I couldn't pay my phone bill, and you gave me my phone bill money this fast. Eddie done a lot for the community, and it's just unfortunate. I ain't trying to do no crime. My plan is to rebuild. Unfortunately, my location was burnt to the ground, so I can't rebuild right away. My roof is gone, so I have to relocate, and it is discouraging. A lot of people saying, oh, you can just build something down the street, but right now I don't even know if I want to go back to where I grew up in, you know, and that's just unfortunate. It's energy draining. People don't understand, like I said, it's more than just money. It's time, it's effort. I spent nights alone in my store, the first 2 nights overnight at my grand opening, and it's just unfortunate. And these businesses it's like our kids, and it's just unfortunate. And like I said, my plan is to just get strong and just rebuild, and I'm just praying for everybody, and you know, just God bless everybody.
I'm going to ask an important question. How many of us are going to help rebuild Shella's business?
I will.
Hands up if you're going to help Shella rebuild her business. Shella, don't go too far. We have a lot of people here that can help you. And when we say we're in this together, it has to go past what we're doing right here, right now. You know, it has to lead to action. And the action is for us to work together and build together, and it's going to start with your business. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? No, I'm going to say something anyway. I'm from downtown Wacker Drive. We homeless, and I want to pray. Thank you all. And guess what? 64, having 8, but I don't want nothing. They closed everything down on the Wacker Drive because of what's going on. But you know what? I'm 64. I'll be 65. God bless.
My brother, I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I like your shirt. It'd be nice if we had him back in
Yes,
office
sir.
right now. That's for sure.
I'm only 64.
God bless you. You look good.
And look,
Wish I had your hair,
ain't got
too.
no brain.
All right, let's move on, my friends. The reason why we're here today is many of us saw this storefront exclusive all over social media. Exclusive had a choice.
Thank you all.
When it came to how to react when them being longtime owners in this community who gave and give more than anyone. They could have been upset. They could have said some horrible things because of what happened to their business. I just walked inside of it. There's barely anything left. But you know what? They said, we love you and we will build this together. And they are the inspiration why we're here today. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome the manager, and I know a lot more, a community leader and activist, Mr. Steve Wazwaz.
God bless
you. First off, I just want to say thank you guys for all the love and support. It's very bad right now what's going on, but at the end of the day, thank God nobody was killed over this. You know, people get killed all the time.
And you look good too.
Thank you, brother. But R.I.P. George Floyd. It's sad that racism is still alive, and it's sad that police are still using their power. It's been going on for years, and you know, it's sad that it's probably still going to go on. I'm happy that now finally people are taking a part, stand for something, and let their presence be felt. I don't promote the looting, of course not, but you know, it took that to get everybody together to finally, you know, realize like, hey, justice got to be served. You know, over the years, I used Instagram and social media to help give back to the community and all over Chicago. I did thousands of lunch bags for the homeless at Simeon. I did thousands of turkeys here for Thanksgiving. I did thousands of toys for Christmas. I'm not Christian or Catholic, I'm Muslim, but I love to help people. I love to treat people how I want to be treated. And at the end of the day, we will get through this and we will stick together and help each other out. I just want everybody to know that, you know, we love you guys. We thank you guys for all the support. And let's move forward together as one. Thank you.
You're welcome. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Steve. And let's move on with one of the finer activists in the Arab American community. She's not only a small business owner in Chicago, but she means a lot more to us. Let's all welcome Vivian Khalaf.
Thank you, Rush. And I want to first extend my condolences to the George Floyd family and the families of all of the other hundreds who came before him. But let me start by saying that I wish I didn't have to be here. I wish that we did not have to stand here and continue to address a cancer in society that started over 400 years ago when that ship landed on the shores of Virginia. I wish that we did not have to grieve yet another murder of an innocent black man or woman at the hands of a racist law enforcement officer. I wish a lot of things. But just because I wish them or we wish them doesn't mean they are going to happen. It takes a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears to make change. More of the same kind of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears that Black America put forth in order to end slavery and for the Civil Rights Act to be passed and for a black man to eventually be elected the President of the United States of America. It takes more of that, and it takes us all to do it together. But that wasn't enough, because discrimination and institutionalized racism and social injustice continues to permeate the very fabric of our society. But a good place to start is here and now by identifying and uprooting the system of white supremacy that devalues Black, brown, Asian, and indigenous lives, all lives. About not only George Floyd, but again, by the many who came before him. We cannot just be non-racist, we have to be anti-racist. And that takes overt action every single day, not only when tragedy strikes or when looting and violence devours our communities. It takes that we be consistent and daily agents of change. That woman who spoke before me, you don't see her color, you don't see my color, you see a human being. We are all human beings created equally.
Amen.
Listen, my friends, the looting and destruction of minority-owned and Black and Arab businesses are the price we have to pay for the liberation of Black America from systemic racism. I'll be the first to say that we will gladly pay it, because the return on that investment will be phenomenal for all marginalized and oppressed communities. But that's not the case. This destruction benefits no one. Our business is not located in this community, but in the West Side, in the North Lawndale community, in a community that has showed us nothing but love and respect for the last 50 years. A business that has been reduced to rubble. And you know who's cleaning up and helping us rebuild? It's the community. It's the men and women and children who are begging us to please reopen and not leave the community, because it's the only place where they can get fresh fruits, fresh meat, and vegetables to serve their families. And we are going to reopen because we're one of the lucky ones. And I'm going to go off script here. We have insurance. A lot of talk about insurance. We have it because we've been able to pay through the nose. Businesses in this community can't walk through the doors of their good neighbor State Farm or be in the good hands of Allstate. They can't afford it. These companies won't insure these businesses. You know why? Because they're located in communities that are considered high risk. High risk because they're an oppressed community, because they're a poor and disadvantaged community. So many of these businesses, like the woman who came before me, don't have insurance policies. So yes, it's not all about money. But it takes money to rebuild, and we're all going to stand together and rebuild this together. But again, it takes the village, and I thank you for being part of this village. I'm going to end by saying, on behalf of the Arab American community, that we see you, we hear you, we feel you, and we are with you, and of course, Black Lives Matter.
Thank you very much, Vivian. And I did have a couple of businesses that I wanted to recognize, but to make sure I'm safe, I don't want to just mention a couple of businesses. I would like hands raised for the business owners that are here today that have been deeply affected by what happened in the last week, where your business has been affected. Hands up. And I want you to know, we thank you, we support you, and thank you for standing with us today. Thank you. Let's move forward to our final segue of speakers. It's my pleasure to welcome the man in the group that helped organize this event to make sure we come together, and that is the Arab American Business Professional Association. Please welcome the president of ABBA, Mr. Talat Othman.
Thank you very much, Rush. As he said, I'm Talat Othman, President of the American Business and Professional Association of Illinois. We are here today joined by other Arab American organizations to express our support for the peaceful protesters, to express total support for the protesters who are protesting the horrible killing of Mr. George Floyd. We want to express our shock that a murder of an innocent man in America can take place in public and with law enforcement officers watching it happen. We want to say to the Floyd family that we feel the pain of losing a loved one, a father, a husband, a peaceful man whose life was taken away for no other reason than for being black. We pray that our Creator will give the family solace, knowing that so many people around the country, and indeed around the world, are grieving with them. We commend the family of Mr. Floyd for denouncing the violence and asking for justice to be served and a speedy closure of this tragic loss of life. At the same time, we are here in the area with so many stores were trashed and looted by a few misguided individuals who do not represent the vast numbers of peaceful protesters who are seeking a change in America. An America that is void of racism and discrimination and treats all people equally in the eyes of the law. The peaceful protesters are asking that we live up to the values of our nation. Yes, we are here also to express our support for the store owners, the employees, the customers, the communities that are affected by the violence and looting by those individuals who have no respect for life. The store owners and employees provided food and services to these people. I must say, having the risk during this virus, their personal risk, yet they were here and provided the food and the services needed, and they deserve our support. We in the Arab American community join all people of goodwill to denounce racism and discrimination against our brothers and sisters in the African American community. And yes, Black lives do matter.
Thank you very much, Mr. Othman. I would not be here. A lot of the organizations would not be here if it wasn't for Mr. Othman, who truly is a trailblazer in the Arab American community. Thank you, Mr. Trailblazer, it's my pleasure to welcome the founder and retired judge, Mr. Bill Haddad.
I'm glad I could take this mask off for a little bit because I'm really having a hard time. Talat, I can't tell you how much we appreciate what APA has done for our community. As Vice President of the Arab Business and Professional Association, I applaud you. Thank you so much, my friend. And I do acknowledge Commissioner Moore and Chester Slaughter's son over here. And I knew his father, and we have Howard Brookins, who sits on the board with me at the Northern Illinois School of Law, the Board of Visitors. Well, I'm Bill Haddad. I'm a retired judge. I retired in 2014. And I'm past president of the Arab American Bar Association as well. I am now chairman of the American Middle East Voters Alliance. We call it AMFO. It is the first Arab American PAC in the history of Illinois. We've accumulated 250,000 registered voters who are Arab American, Muslim, and Christian. And our mission is to use the vote for government accountability to promote diversity and minority rights. What does that mean? It means the rule of law. It means that government must be responsive. It means that if somebody is suffocated and tortured and murdered over 8 minutes and 46 seconds, that's torture, murder, that is murder. It is not third-degree murder, it's not second-degree murder, it's murder. And if somebody is jogging and is accosted by people and is clearly murdered by 2 individuals, maybe 3, we shouldn't wait for a government to indict them after 2 months. It means that government must be responsive to the needs of minorities. And that means the needs of individuals who are black, white, Arab, Muslim, Christian, Asian, all of us. So I stand here today to tell you that AMVOTE stands for accountability. It also means that when people are protesting peacefully in front of the White House, redressing their grievances, expressing their First Amendment rights, they have a right to be there. They were there during the Vietnam War when Lyndon Johnson was president, and nobody arrested them or pushed them away. No one pushed them away. Why is this president the one who's going to push them away so we can walk across the street for a photo opportunity? It's a disgrace. Our people need protection from a government that is not responsive to their rights when they protest, when they're victims of crime. And lastly, I hate to say it, but we have burglaries and arsons and looting here in Chicago and throughout the country by people who should be arrested. Our government has a right and a responsibility to respond to 911 calls. Let me repeat that. When people are losing their property and their lives and they call 911, they deserve a response. There were no responses. I'm sorry, folks. I stand with the police. I'm a former prosecutor, but this was wrong, what happened here on the south side to these stores. AMVOTE stands for government responsibility. And the way to do it is through the use of the vote. We applaud what Lori Lightfoot has been doing. We applaud her 90-day plan. She's the first mayor in the United States to come up with a plan for transparency and social justice. And she's also set up a seed fund to fund the stores, hopefully get more money for them so that we can work our way out of this damage. So the American Middle East Voters Alliance stands with everybody here today. We stand for the rule of law. Inshallah, we'll all see each other when the sun shines and we're all free of this. God bless you all.
Okay, just really quick before we get to our last speaker, everyone please remain in place. We'll take a couple of group photos so we can distribute to different media outlets as well. Hey, media, if you guys want to join in the photo op, you're more than welcome to. Just want to show you guys some love. Okay, finally today, it's my pleasure to welcome the president, the newly elected president of the Arab American Bar Association, Mervat Swais.
Hi everyone, my name is Mervat Swais. I stand before you as president of the Arab American Bar Association. I stand before you as an attorney who believes in upholding the Constitution and the rule of law. I stand before you as an advocate of law and order and social justice. But it is as a mother that I stand with you and that as I weep. as mothers do when their children cry, when their children hurt, when their children suffer. Let our message be clear today. Enough is enough. We condemn the brutal death of Mr. George Floyd and the many others who suffered a similar fate in this country. We condemn the suffering that has stemmed from hatred and fear on the basis of race, religion, color, or creed. As a mother, I plead for a better future. Enough is enough. We must work together and for one another so that our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren will have the ability to live in peace and thrive collectively. We stand with our brothers and sisters in their protests. For our community businessmen and women, your loss is heavy and that has not gone unnoticed. Our only hope now is to rebuild, not just buildings and storefronts that we recognize has provided for these communities. Our only hope now is to rebuild a new and better America, because enough is enough. Remember this as you go to bed tonight, that there can be hope in the rebuilding of businesses. That's a blessing. But there can be no hope when a human life is taken in the way it was taken from George Floyd. We will rise above the destruction because our spirit is strong, our voices are loud, and we will yell from the highest of mountains together that enough is enough. We must make the important distinction that the peaceful protests are separate from the unlawful and damaging conduct so that we do not lose sight of the fight against injustice. Our generation does not wish to see this side of America rear its ugly head anymore. We will not allow it. As George Floyd pleaded for his mother, I as a mother plead to you, enough is enough.
I want to thank everybody who came out. I appreciate the media for coming out. Let's all gather, if you don't mind, for a quick group photo. And also, this ain't part of the media. I just want to re-emphasize that the work that we do must go beyond what we just talked about today. We have a business owner right here that's suffering. Let's work together and pledge, one business at a time. If there's the ability to rebuild from a resource standpoint, a cleanup standpoint, we must not stay silent. Our actions will always speak louder than even our words today. So thank you all. Let's get to work.